What's up, YouTube? Welcome to more trades. We're going to be looking at the charts, trying to make sense of what's going on. There's a lot of things are happening. Bitcoin pumping, Bitcoin dumping. We're not sure of what's going to happen next. But we'll try as much as possible to make sense and have our levels ready and just wait for a trade. Just sit down and wait. There's nothing more you can do. You can't push a trade, you can't force a trade, or you may get stopped out. To start with, I would like to watch Bitcoin. Since the rest of the traditional markets are closed, we have the Nasdaq and all of those markets are closed. Then the futures, the markets will open tonight, I believe. It will be early morning. It will be in the morning in Asia, and you'll get the Sydney, Tokyo, Hong Kong, New Zealand all coming in line. So there'll be some volatility, hopefully, or a trend at least, to know where do we stand with the whole choppy movement we had on the weekend. As usual, weekend is always a choppy movement. We set our levels already, the psychological low and high, and they're very tight. I'll show you the levels. So for now, I was looking at this. We had I was seeing this move down as an impulse, a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5 over. But I may be wrong. This whole thing here could just be a pullback. What do I mean by pullback? In Elliott wave count, this whole thing can just be a big A, B, and a C down, and it's over. And if that's the case, if the ABC is over, then we're expecting a breakout, and we continue on our third wave as we started counting from down here. This was the beginning of wave 1 all the way up here, the end of wave 1. This is the beginning of wave 2, so this whole thing was a 2, and now we're going up for wave 3, which will be wave 3 is not always the longest, as some people say, but it's never the shortest. So wave 3 will be at least as long as wave 1. So what does that mean? How do we measure that? So if I go to a cleaner chart, and let's look at this. If we say this whole move from down here, from the bottom of 13th July to the top that we got now is a wave 1, and we're coming down for a wave 2. So let's see how far can our wave 3 go. Our wave 3, to be a valid wave 3, it needs to at least if we're done now and we're moving up, that's only if we're done now and we're moving up, then our wave 3 should go at least, because wave 3 is never the shortest, so it can't be shorter than 2, it can't be shorter than 1. If it's going to be compared to 1, then it will be at least 27,357, but it can be shorter than 1, and it can be equal to, or even equal to or even bigger than wave 2. So this, how do we find the length? If we say the wave 2 started up here and finished down, we had an A, this was the end of 2, and we want to know where will 3 end compared to the size of 2. To do that, probably we can do that with a fib retracement from the beginning of 2 to the end of 2. Yep, our 1-to-1 will be at 24,302. So that's the least that wave 3 should be, but I believe if it's a wave 3, then it needs to break that, because it needs to go higher. Otherwise we won't go anywhere. If we have a wave 3 here like that, then a wave 4 down, we will never finish. So wave 3 needs to go above 24,300. That's the main point. That's for Bitcoin. And if we are to look at it in a different way, we say that this whole move, we're just still in a correction, which I thought, and I still think that we might still be in a correction. This whole move is a correction, and we're for wave 4. This whole move is a wave 4 up, and we're going to come down to 5. Then we're going to have a wave 5 coming down that should at least break 17.5. However, we may have a truncated 5 which doesn't break the previous wave 3 low. It just could stop a bit higher. I think we had that in our last bear market from 64k. But having said that, if we go back to this chart, I would like to show you some targets that I have. And let's go on the hourly and look. At the moment, we're above some level of resistance that I had. One was this wick over here. We're above the wick. We've broken the highs over here. We've broken these already. We've taken these levels. We've gone up above 23,290. So we made the structure have a higher high, and now we're forming a higher low if this continues. So will we have a 5-wave move up? We'll need to see that. At the moment, the target for the upside, if and when we get there, could be 23,515. We also have lower targets to start with, and our target to the downside will be, for this hour, would be, so these are our targets for now, but we have other targets on other charts. I'll show you my targets based on Fibonacci levels. Based on Fibonacci channels, we have this level. Bitcoin's looking a bit impulsive, so that could mean maybe we are impulsively moving up, which is a good indication for the price of Bitcoin to go higher. And I took it from this low to the high. To this high, and that gives me a retracement to 0.382. So what it's showing me, that we could have 1, 2, 3, and 4 for this wave, and we'll continue in 5, and that will be wave 1 of the bigger wave 3 finished, and then we'll pull back for wave 2. There's smaller waves in waves. So the way Bitcoin is moving or pumping or looks a bit impulsive. And let's see if we have any volume in it. The volume isn't that high. Now that we got up here, from down here we got up here, could this be the beginning of something? And how far could it go? So if we say, but I'm not liking this. This could be a corrective wave, a pullback, but this looks also corrective. This looks corrective. So the move up would be impulsive. So we can say we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for wave 3. So we had a 1, 2, and then we have 5 waves in 3, and then we had a pullback for 4, and we went up in 5, and now we're pulling back for the wave 2. So this whole thing was a 5 wave in 1, and we're pulling back for wave 2, and then hopefully we'll continue to wave 3 of the bigger wave 3 and continue up, then pull back for 4 and then 5. That's how it works. But the way I look at it, I feel like we have strong resistance at 22,832 and another resistance point on this chart. I think I don't think so we'll get there very soon to the 25k range, but however I feel that this could be a fake move. We've done it so many times. I'll give you examples. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Especially when you look at moving averages in the chart, you will notice. Let me get rid of these drawings. And let's look at that. And go on bigger time frames, the 4-hour chart. If we go up here, you see what we done here. We had a nice big pump and we hit the 200 EMA, then we had a dump. Over here we broke it, but that doesn't mean that we're going to the moon, because I remember clearly we've done it here. Look at that. We broke it. It's tradable. You could make a lot of money in it, but the bigger picture is we're going down. So if someone wants to trade it according to this, you could say, okay, we broke it. There's a chance we'll go up several thousands of dollars from 37K down here. We went up to 48K. That's a good trade. That's $11,000 of a trade. But the bigger picture still remains down, in my opinion. And it will remain down until we're able to climb above 28K and really see strength in this. But so far, Bitcoin hasn't shown any strength. On the 4-hourly, the EMAs, true, they crossed bullishly over here. But also, now at the moment, we're stalling. And we formed a double top yesterday. So anyone who took the trade from here would be still in profit till today. Over here on the hourly, our EMAs are trying to cross up. We have some volume higher than our moving average cloud, which is a good sign. And let's go on the smaller time frame, 30 minutes, and look what's happening. We had a bullish cross over here on this candle. You would wait for the candle to open and close above the 8 EMA, then you'll get in on the next candle, but you would get stopped out. I found that this strategy works better in higher time frames, in the 4-hourly, where you don't have so much madness of movement and crossing. On my other indicator, we're seeing some movement, but on the 15-minute time frame, you see we're struggling kind of on the 50 EMA. MACD has crossed downwards and attempted to cross up but failed, and continuing down, but now we're having a slight curve to the upside, so maybe we might see a push to the upside. But what I'm doing is just I'm still remaining and waiting for my targets. I have 1 and 2 targets on this chart. I don't really have a target, but I can see that I'm getting rejected on the 200 EMA, which is a sign that of lack of strength. Let's go on the hourly. We don't have the 200 EMA in sight. Also, even the 4-hourly, we have on the hourly. Sorry, we would have the. I think we'll have the 50 EMA instead of the 200. We're struggling at the 50 EMA. And as long as we're below the 50, momentum shows that we're going to the downside. On the 15-minute, that's where the move develops. We're still wicking the 200. After we broke down yesterday, we were not able to go up. Weekend, low volume, just be careful. If I go to Ethereum is doing the same. It's struggling. Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't doing the same, sorry. Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame is struggling at the 200 EMA. Ethereum, on the other hand, is still above its 200 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. So Ethereum still has good support around the 15,065. 1,565. But Ethereum has a nice resistance at 1,720. It's a good point of resistance, a strong point in my opinion. You can see if we go back, this is on the hourly. It took some time before it broke down. It took 3 hours, and even when it wanted to break down, it broke down with strength. It had to go with strength. It couldn't break down in a regular candle. It had to use strength. Over here, the same level was good support. We wicked that level and pumped back up, and at the moment we're under it. So if you pump up to that level, I'm sure we will get some resistance or maybe a push back down if we don't have very strong volume. Solana, on the other hand, we're underneath this level that I had for a long time. It was a previous daily support level. Now it's turned resistance. I'm still keeping it on because I see it's a level of interest. We stall at it, we attempt, and we fall down. And if I take the fixed volume range, it will show me, I think the point of control possibly is over there for this range at the daily S. Exactly. See the point of control. Most trades are conducted on this line. I think it means 70%. Value area high for Solana for this range on the 1 hour chart is 44. And value area low is at this white line that I have, the bottom of the channel, at 39. So if you use a fixed range volume tool, it gives you a range. You could even trade it when you're below certain levels. It's considered resistance. When you're above them, there's support. So you see over here, we came, we tested it, we got support, we bumped into it. So it was a range, a tradable range. Over here, if you look at the bigger picture, value area high, we broke down, we retested, we came down, boom, bounced off the value area low. Let me remove my channel so you can see clearly. See, the value area low is right here. We bounced back up, touched, expected to go down again because alternate touches, but we came down, tried to go up again, failed, and we came back down, wicked below it, liquidity grab from these candles over here, and we might be reversing back to the value area high again, and it would be a beautiful range to trade. So 44k, 39.7, people usually take profit in the middle of their range. Over here you have the point of control, so if I took a long from down here, over here I'll take some profit and let the rest ride. If it breaks and goes higher, I'll make more profit. If it fails, I already take profit and my stops are not in loss. For Bitcoin, if we want to see the value area high and low for this current range that we're in, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, at the moment, we're getting support at the value area low. Will we be able to continue above it? If we do, then I expect us to get attracted again to the point of control and possibly the value area high. The point of control is a point of interest. It's a point where 70 or 75% of the trades have been conducted. So the market knows that at this point, it will get a lot of traders to come in. So it might go up and exceed it because a lot of people have their short orders over here, 23,472. It might come here, exceed it, then come back down again. But if we get above it, then you know you have support. Over here you had support for a few hours and you broke below it. Nothing has changed from yesterday, nothing much. We had some action today, a bit of a pump, but nothing much. We're still holding the support of this green trend line that I had from this wick and this wick. And I was saying that Bitcoin, in my video, I said it has to hold this level. We're holding it. We're still in the bear flag, so that's not good news. Bitcoin needs to get above 23,152 and start bouncing up. And that will be good for Bitcoin. If we break this channel to the upside, this white channel, you see the white channel that I have over here with the red dotted line in the middle, the measured move for this channel, if it breaks and gets support and starts moving higher, you see we broke above but we came back in. But if it's a guaranteed break, depends where we break it. If we break it now in this hour, the measured move, as the time goes, the target goes higher. The measured move for this, I don't need the price label, I can show you like this, is 28,192. That's the measured move for this. That's how you measure the move. But if we break down on this channel at this hour, then your measured move down is 16,663. So you need to watch it. The bear flag can also be considered as a channel, ascending channel, has more probability to break to the downside. But if we continue and we break from this channel, then you can measure the same way of the bear flag and see what is the possible targets. 28,100 will bring us down to this previous level of interest. See how the market has symmetry, confluences, things that show you the same targets over and over again. Ethereum would be a nice coin to trade if it goes to 1720. In my opinion, now let me see what is a Fibonacci retracement level we have now from the drop. I would like to measure here the wave 3 of Ethereum. The wave 3 started there to the bottom wick over here, the 0.618. I told you yesterday in my stream, 0.618 is always so important for Bitcoin and other trading pairs. Look at that. We're literally stalling at the 61.8 retracement. Why are we always attracted to 61.8 and the 65? This range. We always stall here. Either we'll reject or we'll stall and get support and move higher. But we retrace 61.8 of that. And in my opinion, we don't usually get stuck between Fibonacci levels. So since Bitcoin is above the 618, I mean Ethereum, I expect it to even go to the 0.786, which is at 1,696 at least, which is not far from 1,720. So we might even wick there and then start coming down again. No one can tell you for sure. This line over here, you see the January 2020 range value area high. I went to the 2020 January and I took the fixed volume range and measured it, and I got this as a range value high for January 2020. And over here I have the January lows because I expect us to come down there, 705.62. And these are just targets of demand wicks that I found in January that could be used as support. If we come down, we might bounce off them, which we did. You can see over here, we came down, but we bounced. And then we came to the other wick and we bounced, came again and we bounced. And the value area high, you can see, it is a point of interest as we got a slight rejection over here. And we're above it now. Solana, on the other hand, I had a target for Solana for a while. I don't know if I shared it before. $22 Solana. Let me see, where's the target? Was this my target? That's 26. Huh. I don't have it. I had 32. 32 was taken. I had 30. I remember having a target of a $22 Solana, but I don't have it here. However, the targets that I have here, they're just previous value areas of interest, 26K. We wicked below it anyways. And targets to the upside Solana. Looking at it, it is respecting this previous level that I drew. It was a daily support and this was a weekly resistance. And look how we respected it. We touched it, came down straight away. So if you go to the daily time frame, if you want to chart this, you go to the daily time frame, and let me get rid of all the drawings here and show you how it's done to help you chart it. You don't need anyone to tell you how to do things. You can do it on your own. I look at this daily time frame, or you can even go for a weekly for a stronger level. So I'll show you how I do it on the daily. I look at the daily. I take the horizontal line tool and I look at this and I say, where's the next level of resistance? The next level of resistance for Solana is up here at this red candle open, 43.09. We will get some action over there. And then if I want support, my level of support is under this red candle over here. So if I come down again, I know I'll get support. Even this candle started off over there. And then I would label it daily resistance, daily support. Then I go to the weekly. Where's my next weekly resistance? Here. My weekly resistance, a very strong resistance, 44.9. Where's my weekly support? My weekly support is here, 36.74. See how? And then you go to the smaller time frame and you watch price action. How does it behave around these levels? And it gives you an idea of what's going on. You can see that when we hit these levels, you get a reaction there. So it's It's very clear to you. You see, you bounced off this. I think this was a weekly resistance. You come down, you came up, you broke down. Even when you came up again, okay, you can trade it level by level. Sometimes it doesn't totally respect it. We break through it. If you're going long, then you look at what will happen on this level. Do we break through it? We break through it. Oh, very good. We're gonna get support. We got support. Even very good. I don't have to close my long. I can just move my stops into profit. Then we stall near here. When we come back down, we back test it again, break down, back test it, try to go lower, and so on. So you can look at it like that as a range that's being respected. Now what's next for Solana? We're between two levels. We're between this level, 39.94, and between this level, 43.10. So that's your range for now. So you know you could bounce up, come down. Now if you touch this, you know you might bounce up again. If you come here, you know you might be rejected back down. So that's how you chart and that's how you trade. And using Fibonacci channels and EMAs does help a lot. Bitcoin on CME futures closed at 22,640. If Bitcoin continues higher and gets to 24K, example 23K, anything higher than 22,640, then 22,615, I think this is what it shows me over here, but over here shows me another price. Market closed 22,615. So if Bitcoin continues trading higher than 22,615, what will happen when the CME futures open tomorrow? We're going to have a gap. Bitcoin will gap up. The price of Bitcoin will go up, and then we'll have a gap between the price of Bitcoin on that day and 22,615. And you know that Bitcoin usually comes at a certain time. At some point, it's going to come and fill that gap. So you know that if we're above, it's going to gap up, and there is a likelihood that will come down. So you could even watch for resistance. So if Bitcoin opens tomorrow and Bitcoin is 23, 22, what is it? 23. We have a target at over here. We have this target 23,117. We have this other target 23,328. If we're up here, we know when CME futures, Chicago Monetary Exchange futures opens, we're going to get a gap up. It's going to create a gap, and then Bitcoin will eventually come and fill that gap, so you can trade the fill of the gap. You can see the gaps on the, if you go to Bitcoin CME, you can see the gaps. You can see the gap here, because on the weekend the CME closes and Bitcoin continues trading. So what happened? Bitcoin was dumping, but CME was closed. So when it opened, CME gapped down, and we have this gap. And Bitcoin will, I guarantee you, it will come and fill it. The question is when? No one knows, but I guarantee you this gap will be filled. We came down and filled gaps that were created in 2021. We came as low as, let me show you. We came and filled this gap that was created in December 2020. So eventually it will come at some point and fill those gap. And we still have a gap at $9,000 range, $9,000 to $10,000. I can't see any lower gaps, but we may have lower gaps. It doesn't have to come and fill all the gaps. It's just further confluence. Look how this gap was created. The wick, this gap, the wick came down exactly and filled the gap. So we don't have to fill it. It may take years till we fill it, but it will get filled eventually, my opinion. So some gaps take, as you saw, that some gaps can take up to 2 years or even longer. They don't have to get filled, but it's just a way of trading. Some people trade breakouts and gap fills. On the daily chart, we're red. We had this doji. I'm looking at the CME. Let's look at Bitcoin chart. The Bitcoin chart, we had a doji. I was talking about this doji, and the next day we had a weak doji. The day that followed, look at that, and we're having lower lows. And today is a green day. Will it continue green? We don't know, because you see these days they were not green all throughout the day. You can see the wick. The day started off green and ended up red. On the weekly chart, Let's look at where we stand with our long-term EMAs. QEMA, I like to use this because it has a lot of EMAs on Bitstamp, because we have more data on Bitstamp more than other charts. Bitstamp gives you the data from the creation of Bitcoin. It goes back far, far behind. At the moment, I'll get rid of my drawings. So you can see at the moment, we're above the 400 EMA. Good news, we're still above the 300 for this week. The weekly candle will be closing Sunday night, which is tonight. And we could close above the 300, which we haven't done in 5 weeks. And we're struggling at the 200 on the weekly. And we have the 10 EMA. I believe, yeah, the 10. We're struggling at the 10 weekly EMA. This is the 100. So yeah, we are. Let me just keep the ones I want. I want the 10. I want the 50. 100. I don't want the 150 and 250. So you see the 10 is faster. The 50 is here. The 100 is here. The 50 is coming to cross the 100, which is also not good. But at the cross, we might get the reversal. It happens sometimes. If the weekly can break above the next target, 24,682, that will be even good. If we start opening and closing candles above it, then Bitcoin shows some movement to the upside. This looks like a classical. You see it in the chart happen even on smaller time frames where we have an inverted, what should you call it? It looks like a letter U. We usually have a recovery all the way up. Look at that. You have a dump, and then you have a recovery all the way up. Even if you go on the daily, you'll be able to see that. So we could have a recovery all the way up to here, to the 30K range. Look at this. This pattern repeats itself a lot. This way or even upside down. It could be the other way around. I'll show you that. Look at this pump. Well, it's sort of an M formation and we came down. But this pattern in Bitcoin, you see it a lot. Even here on the macro, it looked like a W. We came down, recovered 50% almost, and crashed. Over here, this is a very nice one. I think this was, look at that dump from 43 to 33. Pump, dump, pump back up. Dump, it wasn't a perfect U shape, and back up. W, back up. So you need to train your eyes and you see these shapes and patterns repeat themselves. We have 1, 2, 3 rounding bottoms. Let's try and find 3 rounding bottoms in the chart. Maybe we can understand something. Over here we had 1, 2, 3 rounding bottoms, and we pumped slightly and failed and came down, made another low, then we started going for the bull run. So we had a 1, 2, 3, we pumped. Could we fail? Made another bottom. So can we do this like what we did there? We fail, come up a bit, make another bottom. That will be our spring and we bounce off. That's also a possibility. This is not magic or mumbo jumbo. It's just patterns in the chart that repeat themselves. Because patterns repeat themselves because charts are reflective of human emotions along with algorithms that are used for trading. These algorithms are just programs that have different ways of trading, but you keep seeing some certain patterns repeat themselves. So that means there is something in common, which I believe is human emotions in the end of the day. Okay, that's the end of the stream. Thanks for watching. Please click the likes, subscribe, share, put your comments. It helps the channel. And I hope you like the stream. Put the comments. What else would you like to see next time? I read my comments. I respond to all my comments. Yeah, more trades. I'm out.